the book and really all of the work that I offer is so grounded. Even a relationship book, put it this way, begins foundationally with the relationship with ourself, first and foremost. And the relationship that we have with ourself is so grounded and impacted by the first relationships that we've had with other people and the dynamics, everything, I should say, from the dynamics, the things that we learned were safe to show or express other people, and the things that we learned weren't as safe or were shameful. So we keep them more hidden. The way, as I've been sharing kind of throughout, the way we learn how to navigate our emotions or those physiologies and all those dysregulated states in our nervous system, whether or not we had the attuned, consistent caregiver to help co-regulate and ultimately help us self-regulate. What we have come to think and believe about ourselves based on directly or indirectly what we were made to think and believe about ourselves in childhood, and then ultimately how we show up in the world is grounded in those earliest relational experiences, which is why many of us, even those of us who have perhaps been on an individual healing journey ourselves, why we continue to maybe shamefully struggle with dynamics in our relationships. Or when we find ourselves or find our way into a new relationship, why it almost feels like we've gone back and regressed because all of these new issues or dynamics are coming essentially to the surface again. And it's because, again, the what we've even learned and come to believe about ourselves as an individual is impacted by how we once had to adapt or modify ourselves to maintain the connections on which we were dependent. And what that has created in a lot of us is a very habitual way of being. I conceptually call it a conditioned self. Essentially, we can think of it as like a mask, a role I play, how I've learned essentially to show up in my relationships, things that were adaptive for me in those earliest relationships help me maintain whatever version of safety and security was available to me, though they aren't, is not, those that self is not reflective of who I truly, authentically, right, at my core am. And one of the major modifications that we make, and it looks different for each of us, is where we aren't, right, truly who we are, where we are quite simply playing a role, wearing a mask, doing something that at one time we thought we had to do, or maybe being that selfless, right, over empathetic individual who thinks that we're putting other people first by removing ourselves or watering ourselves down, not having that presence or that space in our relationships. And all these modified ways of being, I think, prevent us from entering into a what is known as a true interdependent relationship, or really simply the ability to be separate, unique individuals with distinct ideas, unique emotional experiences in any given moment, differing wants and needs and visions for the future. And at the same time, while I'm authentically me, maintaining that relational space or the opportunity to connect with and be known by other individuals. That's what true interdependence is, not where I have to water myself down to be something or meet a need for you or vice versa, not where I have to play a role to ensure that we stay connected into the future, not where I immediately perceive conflict or differing perspectives or emotional experiences or wants and needs to be a marker of a doomed relationship, where I'm able to hold space for that separateness, still show up as a unified group, dyad, whatever it is, community, and negotiate and walk toward and envision a future that, holds in mind both people's best interest. And that's what allows us, right, kind of this whole process of first becoming aware of what role I'm playing, how I am showing up in my relationships, beginning through setting new limits, through showing up differently, through factoring ourself in and our physical body in particular, our wants and our needs. And then over time, courageously learning how to express that deeper, more authentic self will then, with the beautiful part of all of this being a holistic journey, as we feel more safer and secure in our self expression, and I touch on this at the end of the book, the gift energetically that gives other people, as I feel more safe to be authentically who I am, right? My side of that separate togetherness, my body is going to send energetic signals that your nervous system is going to sense that will allow you in your body to feel a bit safer and a bit more secure, allowing you the possibility of embodying your authentic state in that togetherness.